You don't need to order steak fajitas out anymore. Let me show you why. Walk with me. This morning, I woke up fiending for some Tex-Mex. So guess what we're doing? We're making Tex-Mex. And on this channel, I have tried and dare I say overwhelmingly succeeded in making both tacos and burritos. If you yourself are a lover of Tex-Mex, I recommend you go watch those videos if you have not already. And if you've already watched those videos, I'm sending you hugs and kisses. Today we're doing fajitas, both because it's a Tex-Mex staple and because I wanted to eat some. The process of making fajitas starts by taking a chunk of meat. I'm using just under 2 pounds of sirloin and cutting the meat against the grain into strips. And if you want some real nice knives, do yourself a favor and click the link in the description. The reason we cut the meat against the grain is because when it cooks, it'll be more tender and easier to chew. Now, I will be honest, identifying the grain has always confused the hell out of me, so I hope I'm doing that properly. I will also say you should not cut your meat into too thick strips. We want to cook the meat on a high heat and want it to finish cooking quickly. You should go for half-inch pieces. Now, something I think is critical to the success of these fajitas is hitting them with a little bit of salt. Not a lot, but just enough to lightly cover it all. Our meat is prepped, we have it in a bag, we move on to the marinade. Something I have an issue with when it comes to marinades is that they'll have salt or something more salty in flavor, but the meat itself isn't seasoned with salt or anything at all. And while the marinade itself might be good, I think it leaves the meat bland. So if you're going to make a Yam's Kitchen marinade, you're going to have to season the meat just a little bit. To this point, we've added oil, cumin, chili powder, and pepper. Up next is a couple of glugs of that W sauce. And it's not a proper marinade without acidity, so please go in with the juice of a lime. To make up for the fact that we did not add a lot of salt to the beef, we're going to add more here. Now I take this here spoon, I mix it, and taste to make sure that it's good. I am satisfied with the flavor of the marinade, so pour it into your bag of beef. What happens now is you take your bag and get rid of all the air. You close it up and you massage your meat. You want to make sure it's all completely covered. I'm in between doing what I need to do and it just dawned on me I forgot to add garlic to the marinade. Don't ask how it happened, just keep in mind garlic is supposed to be in the marinade. At this point, our beef is ready to go in the fridge. We're going to keep it in there for at least an hour. Doing it overnight isn't necessary. A couple of hours will give you the deep flavor we're looking for. Now, something I love about fajitas is just how gosh darn colorful they are. Obviously, you get the browning from the meat, but you get the color from the bell pepper as well. Our choice of bell pepper today will be both yellow and red. And we're not looking to do anything crazy with them. We're just looking to cut them down into strips. And you best believe that onion will be featured in this recipe too. So go ahead and cut these into half moons. Now, could you add these vegetables to the pan and saute them plain? You could, but that's lame, and you wouldn't be maximizing flavor. So the exact marinade we gave to the beef, we're going to give to the vegetables. Just like the beef, we're going to get it incorporated into the vegetables and leave it in the fridge for a while. Alright my friends, look here. I don't know how long it's been specifically, but the meat and vegetables have been marinating for over an hour. We've got this heat cranked to super duper high, and now we're going to add the steak. And if there's any leftover oil and stuff in the bag, make sure you get that out too. Vegetables are next. Go ahead and add those in too. This comes together pretty quick, to be honest with you. Now, when you look in this here pan, tell me, what do you see? If you thought it looked like a colorful and beautiful array of meat and vegetables, you'd be absolutely correct. Now, admittedly, I did have to make this in batches because I had a lot to make, but if you don't have as much as me, make it however you can. It's really up to you. Now, being that I happen to be an American citizen, there is something that I can tell you for sure that we Americans love, and that is chips and queso. Does eating fajitas on its own count as a meal? Absolutely. But you know what? I'm feeling like a big back today, so we're going to go ahead and make our own homemade chips and queso. Unfortunately, that starts with me grating 8 ounces of cheese. This is sharp cheddar cheese, but we're also going to be using pepper jack as well. That'll also be 8 ounces. Now, you might hear homemade queso, and you might think to yourself, man, it's entirely too hard to make. Why the hell would I do that? First of all, it's not that hard to make at all. Second of all, it's going to taste infinitely better than whatever the hell you get from the store out of a jar. So for the second time today, you'll start by dicing yourself up an onion. Well, I guess we didn't dice an onion before, but you get the point. The onion is diced. Go ahead and get it in your pot. This will saute for about 7 minutes. Now let me tell you something. I've been cooking for real since about 2020, 2021. And at no point in that time have I prepped or cooked a jalapeno. Oh my god. This jalapeno is already whooping my ass, man. What the hell is going on? Go ahead, take the seeds out, finely dice it. And if you're wondering why I've decided to use jalapeno today, I just felt like being adventurous. I don't really know what to tell you. While I was in the process of getting attacked by the jalapeno, I ain't gonna lie, the onion almost burned on me. But it's all good. It has a lot of color, but it's not burned quite yet. But just go ahead and add some salt to it. And once the salt cooks in, go in with the green devil. You will also add the only thing in life that does not let me down, garlic. This will only need about a minute to cook. In this bowl that you can barely see, I have 12 ounces of evaporated milk. Make sure you reserve a quarter cup of that. Do not put it in this here pot, but everything else can go right in. I had my heat on medium high. I've reduced it to about medium. You're gonna let this go until it starts simmering. Now, if you're wondering to yourself, oh, why didn't he add all the evaporated milk to the pot? The reason is because we need to make a slurry. So add a tablespoon of cornstarch to the quarter cup of milk. You're now going to take yourself a whisk and mix this together. I don't feel like washing the whisk, so I'm going to try to do it with a fork, but I don't think it's going to work. This is definitely not going to work. As a quick side note, I decided to add paprika and black pepper to the milk. But with our slurry complete, add that to the pot. We're going to get this mixed together and we're going to let it thicken. Well, this took no time to thicken at all. Here I have my bowl of cheese. This cheese will go into here. I'll mix it. I'll see you when that's done. I should say add the cheese gradually. If you add it all at once, you're just going to have a hard time combining it all. Man, let me show you what we're working with, bro. Look at that. Ooey, gooey, cheesy. It's exactly what I need. Maybe I'm crazy, but I think I can even add more. Now, in my opinion, there aren't many things that can make this taste much better, but cilantro definitely helps. And perhaps the best and most simple way to cut through something that's extremely rich is acidity. So lime juice goes in next. And by God, does this need some salt. Now, up until a few minutes ago, I was going to make my own chips. I was going to tell you, oh, if you don't feel like making your own chips, go and buy them from the store. You don't have to make it yourself. Well, as it would turn out, I've made a business decision and I'm just going to use store-bought chips. With that being said, it is very much time to plate. I started eating some of this chips and queso off camera and it is delicious. Please be generous with your serving. If you've made this all yourself up to this point, you've earned it. Now we move this slightly down and we place this small plate right here. And grab a big handful of your favorite store-bought tortilla chips. And you go ahead and you bless those chips with that delicious queso. I believe in some industries, they call this the money shot. Not only does this make me happy, but this makes me even happier. And together, they make me the happiest man alive.